Perfect.
Okay. Hello, hello. Welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Michele Schalin. My company is Mindful Metamorphosis, and I'm an author of a book of the same title. And I am a mental fitness coach. I do private coaching, I do workshops, retreats, and I also I facilitate corporate wellness programs for companies, in person and virtual. I've designed a 6-week program for employees or leadership for stress management, brain training, mindfulness, meditation, breath work, and emotional intelligence training. So I'm really passionate about sharing these kind of this information, this education for people because I believe that people will implement this in their life on a regular basis when they understand the science behind it, when they develop a mental fitness belief system, just like they already have around physical fitness. Okay? I'm not sure about other countries, but in America, it didn't take really regular exercise and physical fitness routine. The culture didn't really embrace it until the 80s. Okay, until there was a guy named Richard Simmons that was real popular, and Jane Fonda, and then other people came afterwards, and it just exploded. Then there were people before that influenced. Arnold Schwarzenegger being one of them, a man named Jack LaLanne, different people. But it took time for people to get educated on this. I mean, in like early 70s or late 60s, if someone was running down the street, like jogging, people would go, but what did they go? Where are they going? Like, why are they running? It was not a part of our culture until really the 80s, okay? And that's what I believe. And I used to be a fitness trainer, so I have a lot of knowledge around that. So that's why my approach to talking to people about this is, and I also know here I am in the U.S. I'm talking to the Western mind, so I understand, and the modern Western world is kind of late in the game on a lot of these techniques and practices. They've been around for thousands of years in other cultures, but now science understands and is getting on board with all this, and we have sophisticated imaging devices that can see the brain change and when you apply these practices, and we know how the subconscious works more now. So people just need to get educated, and once they understand and have the right approach to these practices, they will get amazing success and understand that it's training. Mental fitness training is exactly like physical fitness training. You use these practices, you use these techniques, your mind gets stronger, and you learn to be able to control your thoughts more. You learn to be able to navigate them more. You learn how to process your feelings. You learn how to be able to put pause between the stimulus and your response, and your whole world changes. All your relationships improve, and everything. I mean, it's really a superpower. So that's what I'm real passionate about. So, because I know it's changed my life miraculously. I would actually lived in Spain from 2017 to 2021. My goal is to get back there, and I love living there. I came back to do some real deep healing with my children. Basically, they're adults now, but we needed to mend things, and it was too hard to do from that far away. So I'm really glad I've come back. I've attained that, but I'm definitely interested in going back. And when I was in Spain, I went through an amazing shift with all these techniques and learning how the brain worked and studying under people, and trying all these techniques on myself as a guinea pig, and had an amazing shift. And then during the COVID, when everybody was locked down, you may or may not be familiar with a networking group called Internations. It's real popular in Europe
Yeah.
and all around the world. Not so popular here, but it's really big in a lot. So I started doing webinars through Internations to help people deal with the experience that they were having and everyone being locked down. Because I knew I was lucky and very blessed to have these experiences and tools and practices before it happened. And so I was able to handle it better. But I put myself in a bubble and just did more and more and more healing and all these techniques and listening and educating myself more, and had an amazing shift. And that's why, and all this, I share a lot of this information in my book. And that's why I wrote it, to help people, heal and manage, how to navigate their thoughts and their emotions. Okay. So what I'd like to do is just a couple of little exercises with you before I start on this. But before I do that, real quick, the 30-30, just to explain, the 30-30 challenge is something I created. I actually put it in a mindfulness and meditation workshop I was having. And it was such a hit. Everybody loved it. In the U.S., everybody likes this like 30-day challenge, so it's perfect for the population here. But I thought, okay, 30 minutes, 30 days. Okay, so that's the 30-30. And basically I said to people, if someone told you that if you did simple brain training exercises throughout the day, that would only take like 2 or 3 minutes, okay, 2 or 3 minutes here and there, pauses throughout the day, for a total of 30 minutes for the day. And it would help you feel more grateful, more peaceful, a lot more centered, less stressed. You could focus more, and your whole day would just be, you just live your day happier and more joyous. Would you do that? Would you be interested in doing that? And 100% people will respond yes. If you tell them you got to do 30 minutes a day, they think one chunk, they immediately say, I don't have time. Okay, but if you just sprinkle it throughout the day, okay, it makes a dramatic difference. And people did this in the workshop. And what I tell people is reach out to somebody. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if you all want to try to do this, we'll talk about it after we do a few exercises. Reach out to somebody in the group, or if you want to do it with somebody closer, and tell them about it and show them a handout and talk about it. And connect, do it for 30 days, okay? And every day you connect with your little mental fitness workout buddy, okay, whoever you choose. So, and you say to them, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, I think I did about 5 today, or 8 today, or whatever. There's no judgment. It's just observation, and you approach it always, always, always with compassion, love, and grace for yourself, okay? Because it takes time to develop a new habit, as we all know. And as any new thought pattern, any new behavior pattern is going to change your brain. It's going to build new neuron connections. It's neuroplasticity. You've probably heard the term. Changes your brain physically. And then you do that more and more and more, and it gets stronger and stronger, and you go in that direction instead of the negative self-sabotaging thoughts that you have. Okay, that everybody has some of that. All right, just matter of degree. So before we get going on it and talk about it a little bit more, I'd like you to do a few things. So if you could sit up straight, put your shoulders back, and just take a few deep breaths with me. Just breathe in real deep, inhale. Hold it for a few seconds, and then breathe out longer than the inhale. So I'm going to count. We're going to breathe in on the inhale for 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it for 4 seconds. And then breathe out slowly for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And breathe out for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's a really good grounding practice. Okay, I'm going to ask you to do something else, but here I'm going to ask you to stand up. Okay? So if you could all stand up. And just shake your body like this. Just shake. Shake, 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 shake. Shake your arms, shake your shoulders, move your head around, shake your arm, and just kind of vibrate as much as you can. Okay? Just keep on going. Really try to loosen it up, almost like you're like a little rag doll. Okay, great. And just kind of sweep your hands up. Breathe in. Come down. Breathe in. This time when you sweep up, take your hands back like this. Okay? So breathe in. kind of bend back a little bit, nice and tight core, and then come down. Okay, great. Roll your shoulders a little bit. Go ahead and sit down. What I actually missed on that, I should have had you do a body scan before I do that. It's really great to do a body scan sometimes, and that's just like paying attention. We can do it right now. I like to do it before and after so you can see the difference after you do the breath and after you do the shake a little bit. So go ahead and close your eyes and just think about, just observe. Where do you feel tension? Where do you feel any kind of contraction? It could be your jaw, could be your neck. Kind of move down to your shoulders. Maybe in your upper back, your low back, your core, your solar plexus area. People hold anxiety here sometimes. Your hips, your feet, just go all the way down. You're not trying to change anything, you're just observing it. Okay? And now keep your eyes closed. And put a little small smile on your face, like a little baby smile. And think about 3 things you're grateful for. And don't just bullet list them. Like, I'm grateful for the relationship with my daughter because it is amazing. We've gotten so close and healed so much. And we just have a very, very beautiful, joyous connection. Something like that. And just do 3 things like that. Okay. Perfect. How do you feel? Did that give anybody a little shift of how you felt when you walked in? Feel free to speak up. Those are just samples, examples of little simple things, real simple stuff that you can do throughout the day. These are just little practices that you can do. This is the kind of brain training and somatic release of your body that you can do that will help you live a happier, more grateful life. The shake, what we just did, every time there's a new trend or a new industry or something like that that's getting attention, there's certain words that get latched on a lot. Somatic healing is when you move energy through your body and release it, okay, in different modalities. And so that shake is now, people are calling it a somatic shake. I just had an experience where after I wrote my book, I did a book tour, I visited some friends in Key West where I used to live in the US, and I went to a yoga class and she had a shake like that for 5 minutes, all right? And it felt amazing. Okay, it was it was like, well, it was a long time to do that in a yoga class. But she timed us and made us do it for 5 minutes. And it was so amazing. I talked about it in a Zoom chat, and some guy was like, oh, you like that? You should get a vibrating plate. I was like, really? And I did. I got a vibrating plate, and anybody interested, I could talk about that. It's amazing. And I've been using it for about 2 years in my life, almost daily. And, everything is energy. And we absorb energy from other people. We absorb energy from cell phone towers and all this technology all around us. Okay, we absorb. We create energy, and when we don't process our emotions, emotions are energy, and they get stuck in our body. Okay, so there's a lot of energy that can get stuck in our body, and if you don't move, okay. Shaking, walking, swimming, dancing, hiking, anything, just some movement to get this out, it gets stuck in your body, causes a lot of pain, causes anxiety, causes sleep problems, and it can cause a lot of disease, okay? Because your body is like a river. It needs to move, and it needs to have energy flow through it, okay? It's really, really important. So now they call it a somatic shake. But I also facilitate breath work. I don't know if any of you, show of hands, anybody do breath work at all? Okay. I highly invite you to try breath work. I actually have a recording where I can do it remotely, but if you can find it in your area, you go to yoga studios probably and ask them, any facilitators for breath work. It's a very powerful practice. It's fantastic. There's all different techniques. I teach holotrophic breath work that was originally created for trauma healing, but it's a meditation, so it's very versatile. You can use it for a lot of things, and it's very powerful emotionally, physically, spiritually, the whole deal. So that is another form of somatic healing, okay? These are all these things. Basically, you just pick what resonates with you the most, okay? Just like if you were going to get into a physical fitness program, all right? You're not going to I wouldn't tell somebody to go running if they hate running, all right? Or, I'd ask them what kind of activities they like. Get the physical activities in your life. When you like them, you will do them. You will enjoy them. You need to find something that you enjoy and it doesn't feel like torture. And that's how you will do it in your life on a regular basis and include it in your lifestyle. Mental fitness is no different, okay? Different types of meditations, different types of breath work, different types of things that on the handout that you will see, resonate with you differently, okay? And sometimes something will resonate with you for a few months, and then something else, I like this, I want to try this, okay? So you just got to find the things that you like the most and resonate with you the most and that you enjoy and that really, help you feel grounded and centered, all right? Because when you're more grounded and centered you are, you check in with yourself, pauses throughout the day, do these little techniques and practices. That's where your whole well-being is improved. Your health is improved. It's not just about, I want to take this mental fitness workshop because I want to learn how to handle my stress so I don't feel stressed out and I feel peaceful. No. And all the stress here in your mind is in your body. It's all the same. So when you're feeling stressed and you're feeling tense and you're not present throughout the day, which we're thinking about the next thing all the time, all right? This affects your physical health. This affects your well-being. This affects your immune system, right? If you are in the flight or fight survival mode throughout the day, you don't need to be in panic mode to be in flight or fight. You can have that contraction and that sense of unease and that tenseness of thinking about what do you got to do next, what do you got to go next, and the next thing all the time, okay? That puts you in flight or fight, and a lot of people live this way. Okay, certainly a lot of people in the U.S. live this way. And so what happens is you produce so much cortisol in your body because your body thinks it's in survival mode and it needs to run or fight or at any minute, okay? It doesn't understand. So too much cortisol in your body suppresses your immune system. A lot of people don't know that. In the U.S., I don't know about other countries, but in the U.S. years ago, they started injecting cortisol into patients that were getting an organ transplant, that were receiving an organ. Because the body that's receiving the organ goes, that's not my body, and wants to reject it sometimes, okay? So to keep that from happening, they would suppress the immune system by injecting cortisol so that the body would receive the organ, all right? So a lot of people are walking around with real high levels of cortisol. Cortisol can be good on low levels. There's a reason for it. But you got high levels all the time, you're actually suppressing your immune system. So it's that serious to be able to get not control over your brain, because you can't control it. You learn to navigate it and guide it, okay? You can't stop the thoughts coming in all the time. Your brain is constantly working, okay? It's taking internal cues and external cues constantly, all right? So when you approach mindfulness or breath work or meditation or any brain training technique, I want to quiet my mind or shut my mind down or something like that, it's not a realistic approach. It's not a realistic expectation, okay? The key, the common denominator for any kind of brain training, which is meditation, mindfulness, okay, breath work, is focus. And when your mind wanders, you refocus. You just keep on wander, focus, wander, focus. That's the exercise. That's the training. That's how simple it is. Okay? And understanding that it's training, this is not an immediate gratification. Every experience is different. Every meditation is different. Every time you do breath work is different. Every time, because it depends on where you're at in your mind when you go into it. Okay? Movement before you do, particularly these kind of activities, helps a lot, because like the body shake, walking around, moving your arms, sweeping your arms, stuff like that. That kind of stuff before you go to sit down and meditate, if you're actually sitting down to meditate, helps tremendously. It helps your body relax and be able to be still for a little while, okay? The approach should always be with love and compassion for yourself, okay? A lot of our cultures give us toxic messaging, and we have this critical, judging, self-critic, perfectionism, and, we're not doing it right, blah, 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 whatever, okay? Your thoughts are everything, okay? Everything. Every tiny little thought that comes into your brain actually is really important, okay? Whether it be a positive thought or a negative thought. Before I get into a little bit more, I want to give you some homework, okay? Besides the 30-30 challenge, I want to give you an exercise that I'd love you to try, because it's a really great illustration of how powerful the words you choose to use are in your life, okay? So basically it's going to be, you do it 2 different days. Don't do it the same day, okay? Because I want you to pay attention to like how you're responding emotionally and how your body's responding to what you're doing, okay? Like really think about it and pay attention to it. So you don't want to do 2 separate days. You're going to take 2 experiences in your life. One experience that was really, really hard and really, really challenging for you. And the other experience is going to be something wonderful, like whatever it be, okay? Something you accomplished, some experience with a person, whatever, about yourself, whatever. It doesn't matter, just wonderful, okay? And with those 2 experiences, 2 different days, you're going to write 3 versions of them. The first is just facts. No, nothing at all, just this is what happened. The second is, this is what happened, and this is why it was so amazing and great, and this is how it helped me, okay? This is how it improved my life. That's the second one. The third one is, this is how it was really hard for me. And I don't want to say negative. This was just a real big challenge for me, and it was real difficult, okay? So you're going to do facts only, the positive take on it, and then, the challenging take on it, all right? So I'll give you an example. The fact, first story, my fact. My mom died when she was 56. I was 27 years old. Positive spin on it. I was able to grieve and process my feelings, and because of that, I'm able to help other people do the same now. I can easily help people with grief. I can talk about death, and I'm not uncomfortable with it, where a lot of people are, okay? And that person really needs someone to talk to. And that's a real blessing. I can provide really good help for people. And obviously the challenging part was I loved her dearly. I missed her, and she died very early, and we had a lot of unsaid things, and it was very sad. My really great experience is I wrote a book. I published a book about my brain training exercises and help people improve their life. I wrote this book. Super amazing. It was really fun, really great experience. I'm so proud of it. I was able to share it around the world and continue to do so and help people. The challenging part of it was one of the hardest things I ever did. It was a really difficult process when I was writing it, and I had to work very, very hard and bring on a second job to afford the self-publishing, and it was pretty tough. And I had a lot of different versions I wanted, Spanish, English, and Audible, so it took up about 2 years of my time. So that's an idea. And so what I want you to do is, when you do this exercise, pause between each version that you're writing, okay, when you're using the different words, and before you write you write the facts, and then you just pause for a second and pay attention to how you feel emotionally and physically. Then write the positive one, pay attention to how you feel emotionally, physically, the negative one. It doesn't matter in the order. Facts are first. Positive, negative, whatever you want to do. But just pause and pay attention to how your emotions and your physical body is responding to the words you're using. All right? And you can do this with anything to help you, get more clarity and about like how you're using your words. This is a cool practice to try another time, but I hope you try this. And if you do, I would love to hear back from you about how it was for you. Okay? So I want to talk about a few things. So if you don't, show of hands, who here has a meditation practice or any kind of breath work or mindfulness practice? Okay, great. And are you consistent daily with it? Raise your hands. Okay, thanks for being honest. The more consistent you are, the more benefits you're going to get. Just like you work out with your physical training, right? The more consistent, you do certain things, you're going to get certain results. You put your immediate gratification conditioning aside with physical fitness, right? Because if you do it regularly, you're going to get the results you are. When you have the right approach and you have the understanding of how this helps you in your well-being, your life, your everything, like I've described, you'll be more motivated, just like physical fitness. Okay. If you don't have this kind of a thing, or if let's say you have your practice and maybe you start kind of getting off track, give yourself grace. I don't know anybody that doesn't ever get off track with the way we're living and everything in that overstimulation and all these different things with technology that are designed to get us away. They're designed to grab our attention constantly. They're designed to look outside of ourselves regularly, okay? So it's very challenging. So give yourself grace when you kind of get off track and you get back on track, okay? I always say the biggest progress for your growth is how fast you can get back on track. And don't beat yourself up. Just because you intellectually know this does not mean you're going to do it perfect. You're not, okay? And you have old neuron connections from old patterns of behavior and thinking, and they're still there. They get weaker as you work on the new behavior, okay, and you make new neuron connections, but they're still there, and something may trigger them, and then you'll respond, and you just go, okay, I see what happened, I understand what happened, and I can get back on track again, okay? I'll give you a perfect example of that. When I was writing my book, I had to actually go to make it happen, to forward it and get it done, into this kind of old workaholic mode that I had that wasn't good for me. It was really difficult. And I thought, okay, I gave myself 6 months, I can do this and get back to normal. When I was done with that 6 months, I thought I would just be able to turn on a light switch and get back to my balance, and I couldn't, okay? And because of the knowledge that I had, I was like, okay, I didn't beat myself up. I was like, okay, I see what's happening. I woke up some old neuron connections, and my brain's taking me there now, and I have to slowly train myself to pull it back. It wasn't like took years or anything. It took me a couple months to get back on track to a more normal balance like I had before I started writing it. So, there's always a way to get back. Don't beat yourself up, okay? The only way you're going to do it perfect, and you won't even do it perfect there, is if you lived in a monastery and you had none of these, external distractions. So if you don't have this kind of practice and you get off track, you can feel anxiety, you can feel overwhelmed, you can have a racing mind, you're not able to focus, you get depression, you get sleep problems, pain in your body, low energy. There's all kinds of symptoms that we can have when we don't have some kind of program or we fall off track again, okay? And just get back on track. It's all good. You can't stop the thoughts in your mind. A lot of people think they want to just turn off and they can do this. It's like trying to stop waves in an ocean, okay? They're going to constantly come, and you just learn to navigate them. And as you do types of meditative techniques, you will get more. You're trained. It's like working out your bicep. You're training your brain, and then you start after you do this for a time. And if you've done it already, you'll know what I'm talking about. You start to be more aware of the negative thoughts that can come in your brain, okay? You can't stop what's coming in, but you can learn to navigate how to handle those thoughts, okay? And you can learn to go, no, I'm not going to think that way. And it's really great to talk out loud to yourself. No, I'm not going to think that way anymore. I'm going to think this way. And immediately you take it to something that you can focus on that you're grateful for, or an intention that you want to take. You can't just say, I'm not going to think that way, because it'll still be at you. You have to refocus. It's like taking a dog or a toddler for a walk and they get distracted and you say, no, honey, come on over this way. That's it. You just very gently and loving and compassionate way turn your thought to something else. But if you don't have the training, you don't even have the awareness. Sometimes this thought will come. It's in the back of your brain and it's running you. Okay, the subconscious thoughts are turned into beliefs and it runs your life. Okay, so if you don't have the awareness, you're not going to even be able to change anything. And to get the awareness is the training on your doing brain training techniques, and then all of a sudden you start to notice more. And sometimes you'll start to be like, wow, I'm a lot more negative than I thought I was. And that's okay. It's an observation. I don't want to be that way. I want to start changing that. All right. And so you can turn your thoughts around. I'm not talking about toxic positivity. I'm not talking about everything's got to be positive all the time and push, your emotions down. No. There's a difference between turning around your negative thoughts in your mind and expressing the feelings that you feel in your heart. Okay? If you don't know if you can't discern the difference yet, with this practice you will. You'll see your crazy thoughts in your mind, or you'll feel like a heaviness, or like kind of like, ooh, a sensation in your heart. We're talking about like a raise of hands when you feel emotional and you're sad, or you're fearful or you're joyful. How many people feel that experience in their heart area, in your heart area, center area? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so it's way different than just a crazy thought that's making you fearful or anxious or nervous or whatever. Okay, or maybe thinking about the past or ruminating and getting all caught up in that, right? That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, all right? And when you start to do it and you start to be able to navigate that and turn it around and be successful at it, sometimes you're going to be successful, sometimes you'll struggle more. It is so liberating, and you'll be so happy when you start seeing that your training's paying off. Okay, and I guarantee you, if you do it consistently, it absolutely will. Right? I want to talk about just briefly our behavior with phones. Okay, I know it's different in different countries. In the U.S., it's bad. Okay, I mean, people are like zombies with their phones. Not everybody, but an average checking of the phone throughout the day, they say, is about 100 or 300 times a day. And when I say that fact, that statistic to people here in the U.S., some people will immediately say, I think it's more. But for some people, it would be. So, pre-smartphone, we didn't have this constant distraction, okay? Is anybody here familiar with Andrew Huberman? Okay, I highly invite you to check him out. Dr. Andrew Huberman, he's a neuroscientist. He shares a lot of free information on his podcast on YouTube. It's amazing. And the only reason I don't give him a shout out in my book, which I give a lot of shout outs to people I've worked under, is because I found out about him after my book was published. But he talks about a lot of great stuff. One recent talk I heard him talk about, and he called this fractional experiences, us constantly going to our phone. We're interrupting our daily experience throughout the whole day. We're interrupting it with this distraction, okay? We never had this before. We know this. And so what it's doing, like I said, any thought pattern and any new thought pattern, any new behavior pattern is creating new neuron connections in your brain. It's changing your brain. So what this is doing, it is actually it's changing our brain. It's making our brain harder to focus on one thing for a long period of time. Okay? And here in the U.S., the last 6 years, 7 years, probably the last 8 years before I even came back. I came back February 2021. And when I heard people start talking about like their ADD and ADH brain and all these problems with focusing and da-da-da-da-da, that didn't happen before. That wasn't happening before with adults. That was happening years ago in the early 2000s with like 2010 with kids, with computer games and stuff like that. They started experiencing these things. But fast forward with smartphones for years, this is what's happening to adults now. We have terminology in the U.S. now. They talk about deep work. Deep work is simply concentrating on one thing for 40 minutes. Okay, the term never existed before. All right, or sometimes on websites, on a blog, it'll say read time, 4 minutes. Like, it's only 4 minutes, you can do it, It's like, I mean, this is how distracted, that this causes. You have a dopamine overload. The threshold gets so big that if you're not overstimulated by regular activities that you used to like, you get bored. All right, the overstimulation, it's too much for the brain. Those are two things that are apart from what I'm talking about, the fractional experiences. Okay, so it's causing our attention span to be much lower. Here in the US, like 8 seconds. It's like attention span of a goldfish. All right, it's changing the way people feel, and not for the good. All right, so that's, I like to talk about these things because these are challenges we're dealing with all the time. Our brain was not designed for this. That's why it's having these kind of symptoms, and the people are feeling overwhelmed and they can't focus because the brain is like, I've got too much going on. I'm going to make you take a break. I'm going to give you brain fog because you're not giving me enough rest. All right, so we need these tools more than ever, to combat with what we're dealing with. Because anybody who's in business, we all know we have to use technology. That is a part of our life now. All right. I have a love-hate relationship with technology. I always have, ever since it started. I have a website services company. It's 21 years old, so I've been involved for a long time. And here we are, being able to connect all over the world. It's wonderful. But there is a side that is very challenging for our mind and body, and we need to address that, or else we're going to suffer more. Okay, not emotionally, physically, and mentally, and spiritually. So it helps you stay more focused, communicate better, build more emotional resilience. And when you build more emotional resilience, you increase your emotional intelligence, you learn how to communicate better, your whole life gets better because all your relationships improve, right? And whether it be personally or professionally. And what's the biggest, most important thing in our life? Our relationships with ourselves and other people. Okay. So I want you to open up. So first off, any questions before we move on to look at the handout? Nope. Okay. Has everyone downloaded the handout? I just want you to briefly look at it.
Ali, I put it into the chat for you in case you didn't see it.
Okay. So basically, I mean, I can open it up here and share it, I guess, if you guys would rather. Hold on, I gotta open it up in my computer first. Yeah, here we go. Okay, can everybody see it? Am I doing it right? Can you see the handout, guys?
Yep. Sorry. Yep.
Okay,
I'm just fiddling with the settings.
Okay, so everybody can see it because I can't really see it. I'm sharing it, but I can't see it. So it just explains a little bit what I talked about already. I don't have to, go through it all. And it explains the different things that you can do. Okay, so number one, where it says daily micro practices. Okay, it talks about all the little things that you can do, like I talked about throughout the day, 2-3 minutes a day for 30 minutes. You just throughout the day, you keep on checking in with yourself, basically. How am I feeling? Put your hand on your chest, do some deep breathing, walk around a little bit, move your arms, whatever. All different things I have in the handout, in the second, third, fourth pages. I give you all kinds of examples of things you can do. Okay. And then checking in, finding someone that you can check in with every day. This is important. Okay. Think about when you maybe someday sometime in your life you had a fitness program or something you want to stick with, and when you have somebody to check in with every day and help you, it really makes a big difference. It'll help you stick with it. Okay. And so that's super important. End of the day reflection. This is when you're like, okay, checking in with your friend, or how did I do that day? Write down something, gratitude, whatever. I don't want to read it all now because we don't have a lot of time, but you can look at this, okay? The mental fitness buddy system, already explained that, and approach it like a game, okay? Be serious about it, be playful, okay? That's going to help you be more compassionate and loving for yourself. It's just fun. Just make it fun. Don't judge it. When you see yourself judging yourself, when you see yourself getting critical of yourself, stop it immediately, okay? Just talk to yourself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Michelle, I'm sorry, sweetie. I'm sorry I talked to you like that. This is fun. I'm not like trying to, be a sergeant and, make you do something you hate. This is something fun. We're taking care of ourselves. Let's make this a game, okay? And then on the second page,
Can you scroll up to the next page, Michelle?
okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry. You see it?
Yep.
Okay. So the second page, I start talking about different types of examples, okay, of things. Okay. Now, this doesn't have to be, when I say week 1, week 2, week 3, or 4, this doesn't have to be in order. If you go through these to see the second page and then here the third page, okay, these are just categorized by, a subject matter, okay? Connection and integration, energy reset, focus and positivity, grounding and awareness. This is just formatting, okay? Just formatting for the handout. It does not need to be in order. It's really important. I don't want you to think, oh, I can only do these things in week 1. No. If you just scan it and go, oh, I want to try this one, I want to try this one. You find the ones that resonate with you, that feel good with you, just like I talked about. That's when you'll start to enjoy it more, and that's when you'll stick with it, okay? I'll talk about one that I think is a great illustration of how little control we have over our brains, and it's fun, all right? You just got to be very playful about it, okay? Is in the first one, week 1, all the way down the very end, okay? Walking down the street. Walking down the street, treat it like a game. And the whole point is you're going to try to stay as present as you can for as long as you can. That means not thinking about anything in the future, not thinking about anything in the past. Nothing but what's in front of you. Oh, that building is incredible. Look at that door. Oh, that dog is so cute. Look at that sweet little couple over there. Blah, blah, blah. Okay? The tree, the flower, whatever. It's the sound of something. Oh, someone's singing. Okay, I know in Spain you hear music and singing a lot. Anything. And watch how fast your mind will leave. See how long you can be present. All right? Usually it'll be less than 30 seconds the first time you do it. Okay? Because we're so used to constantly thinking in the future and constantly thinking in the past. Okay? You learn to start to slow your brain down with these exercises. Like I said, the thoughts will always come. You can't stop it, but you can learn to slow it down a bit. And that brings incredible peace. So I remember the first time I did this, I was in Valencia. And I said, okay, we're going to try this. And I lasted maybe 20 seconds. I couldn't believe it. And what happened was I'm walking down the street. I'm like, I'm going to do this game. And all of a sudden my mind goes, Choo! And I didn't even see it go. I'm walking, I'm on autopilot, and I'm like all of a sudden thinking, I don't know what I was thinking, past, future, whatever, totally oblivious that I just lost control, all right? And then I think maybe 5 minutes later, I go, well, oh, wait a second, I lost it. It just left me. I was like at the mercy of my brain, and boom, I had no defense whatsoever. And I laughed, and I was like, okay, we're going to practice this. And I just kept on practicing it over and over again. And then that time that I could be present got longer and longer and longer, okay? And it's really important. Again, it's challenging. This is challenging to try to get, to train your brain for the first time and train it against all the conditioning that you've had in your life is a challenge, I talked to somebody the other day, and it was a client that wanted to work with me, and we were talking about these different things. And she said, this sounds like a lot of work. And I said, well, yeah, it's breath work. It's shadow work, I said, yeah, it's challenging. It's training. It's working out, okay? It's hard. It can be hard work sometimes. And you get better at it. It gets easy, it gets easier. And she said, well, when do you arrive? And I said, it's a lifetime habit. This is a human experience, growing, evolving, and healing. And she goes, so, you arrive when you die. And I said, yeah, pretty much. That's when you arrive. So, just it's a part of your life. It's a part of your lifestyle, just like working out physically. I love to use that analogy because it's exactly the same thing. It's natural for me because I used to be a fitness trainer. So, there's just all these different ways that you can do this. Gratitude is huge. Okay? Where the energy goes, where the focus goes. Okay? If you want to focus about, I was talking to my son, he focuses too much on the past and, all these apologies he wants from people that he's not going to get. Well, you can be in that space and you can be unhappy, and that's where you're going to stay. Or you can say, okay, things happen for a reason. People come into my life for challenges I need to grow with, and they're gone now. Thank you. You helped me heal, and I'm going to move on. All right? And just move on and let go of that, and we'll get into the future and get into the present, and look at, building your future. Okay? It's all within our own ability. We talk about stress, oh, I'm feeling stressed, a lot, but it's our perception of the challenge or the problem that's making the stress. Okay? If we look at, we know, and this is the great example, the exercise, the homework I'm giving you to do, it's how you look at it. The stories we tell in our brain is what causes the stress. Okay? And yes, we have challenging things and we have to go through things, and that's the human experience, and we move through and we process and then we feel better. But it's the way we look at it that causes the stress. I got a flat tire. I could be like, oh no, now that I have to cancel, I'm going to be late for this. Everything's, oh my God, I can't do this. And I can get all stressed out and have a horrible day. Okay? Or I can go, oh, I got a flat tire. All right, well, this is not fun, but at least I got someone to help me with it. I'll get back on track and get on my schedule for the day in about a couple hours, and let's just chill and do other things. What can I do, in the meantime to pass the time? Okay, but if I look at it like, oh, if I resist what's happening, there's a quote that Eckhart Tolle talks. I don't have it with me, but he talks about resisting what is. If I'm in an experience with a person, or something's happening, or something's going on in my life that I cannot change, I have no control over, and I'm resisting it with my thoughts and attaching a story about how this is not fair and this is really bad, I'm exasperating the situation, or I'm already having a time. I'm making it worse for myself. But if I go, okay, I'm not going to resist what is. I can't do anything about it. Let's take control of what I can do something about, and let go of what I can't. Okay? And you get that ability to be able to do that with ease, with a lot more ease when you train your brain. So I could talk a lot more, but I know I don't have time. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys. It's all within our reach. It just takes an effort of training. And if you can keep that idea in your mind, just like physical fitness, mental fitness is the same thing. We've just never been taught that. And you will see in the next 5, 10, 15 years, this is going to be a part of people's lifestyle, because people are going to get educated. They're going to understand this. And thank hallelujah, because it's a great, it's much better. It's much more effective, much more effective than, taking medication to try to control your brain and have all those bad effects. That's a whole nother workshop. Okay.
Thank you, Michelle. Can you stop sharing your screen?
Yes.
Did anybody have any questions or comments, thoughts, ideas?
If you think of anything, does anybody want to share experiences maybe
Well, Ali and Anella are waving, so.
Oh yeah, go, Ellie.
This you talked about 30-day challenge, yeah?
Yes.
Doing it so the writing down.
So what it is, okay, so the 30-day challenge is all these different week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, all these different examples I'm giving you.
Yeah,
so you choose whatever you like. Okay, throughout the day, all these different ones. Pick different ones. Pick 5, pick 10, whatever you want. You can, for the first week, if you want, you can start with, doing 3 different types of things. And you
So you
just
do
do
30
them.
minutes, 3 lots of 10 minutes, for example, yeah?
No, it doesn't have to be 10 minutes. That's kind of long. I'm making it shorter for you. Okay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Like these little things that you see, the bullet points and all these can take, 2 to 5 minutes long. That's all. Okay. Two, three, four, whatever you use. You can just sit in your car and after a meeting and go, okay, let's process that. Let's breathe. Let's close my eyes. Let's breathe. Think about how that was. How did that feel? And then what's my intention now? I'm going to go shop. I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to be present. I'm going to be joyful. I'm going to meet up with my friend, whatever it is, and then move on to your next thing. Something as simple as that. But I'm giving you lots of different examples of things that you might try. Okay? And what it is you take whatever amount you want to take. You want to take 3 of them, 5 of them, 10, whatever you want. Okay? Whatever's comfortable for you. The whole point is just sprinkle whatever you want throughout the day, 2, 3, 4 minutes at a time. You want to go longer, that's fine. I mean, great. I'm just trying to make it as easy as possible for people. And
Mm.
then like a total of 30 minutes a day. You don't have to get really obsessive with marking down, okay, it was 3 and then +3 and +5. I mean, you don't have to do that. It doesn't have to be
Mm.
exactly 30 minutes a day. So just do that throughout the day. And at the end of the day, you say, okay, how did I do? And the gauge is how present did I feel? How peaceful did I feel today? How grateful did I feel? Because these things, these pauses throughout the day, and you're going inward with these experiences. I mean, some of them are you're looking around, but a lot of them are going inward, okay, for a short period of time. And that's going to help you stay grounded, more centered, more peaceful. And so at the end of the day, you ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, you don't criticize yourself, okay? And you may be doing it great the first 2 weeks, and then maybe you have a tough time the third week, whatever. It's okay. It's all normal, all right? You're not doing anything wrong, all
So
right?
this is 30 days, yeah?
Yep, you do
And
it
then
for
how do
30
we
days.
do it? What's the maintenance for the following month and the
Okay,
rest?
so for 30 days you do this. Get someone to do it with, okay? It's going to be a lot easier unless you're super disciplined, okay? It's a lot easier and more fun. It's more fun to share your experience with another person, okay? So at the end of every day, you're going to check in with somebody. However you want to do that, text, video, chat, whatever, in person, whatever you need, whatever works. And you check in with somebody. And then you're going to see throughout the challenge, but at the end of the 30 days, you're going to see like, wow, like I was feeling better. Pay attention. Pay attention to how your body's feeling. Pay attention to how your mind feels. You will see a big difference in how you feel. And then you're just going to start in the second month, you're just going to start doing it more. Keep it going. Keep it going. Start to do it more. Pick out different ones that you have and choose. Look at the ones that you go, oh, I like doing this. Let's do this a little longer next time. Okay? Maybe I could do that exercise for 10 minutes instead of just 2 or 3, if you like it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just like, I'm giving you the, I'm hoping that you'll take advantage of this experience, because when you have the experience, instead of just listening to someone educate you and talk to you, blah, 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 it doesn't it helps much more. It's much more transformative and sustainable in your life when you feel the experience, when you do the stuff and you actually feel it in your mind and your soul and your body, and then you're more motivated, like, yeah, I want to continue this. Just like if you started to go walking more often, you got into nature more often, you go, wow, I'm feeling better, I want to do this more often. Okay, it's the same thing. So it's I don't have an agenda for the second month, but it's just like, okay, let's try a little bit more. Let's experiment with a little bit more. Just keep it going. Keep it going as a lifestyle. Okay, that's the idea. And you will see amazing results, I promise you. And I would love to hear feedback from all of you guys as you do this. Someone said, can we do this together? I mean, I'd be happy to do it together with you guys. I mean, if you want, I can, create a WhatsApp group. You give me your phone numbers. I could create a WhatsApp group and we could do it together if you like. I'd be happy to do it. I just love to spread this information to people because I guarantee it will be transformative for you if you do it. I guarantee it. It's science. It's just how your mind works.
Alana, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say you were talking about go into where you have your thoughts and you have the method or whatever you call it to get rid of your thoughts, but not get rid of them, if you understand what I mean. I have for many years in my meditation, I have small boxes. And every time I get a thought, I will put it into that, even if it's not a good thought or a bad thought or a thought that I can't use at the moment, I just put it in there because maybe later I can use that thought for anything or something. And I love what you say, that it can change you, just the small steps. And when you were talking about walking down the street, I I have done that for many years. When I walk down the street, I smile at people and give them a little more smile that I usually want to give. And if you do that, you will see that they are smiling back at you. And one time I did a challenge with my children, and I said, I can get anybody to smile at me when we walk down the street. And they say, no, that's not right. I said, just go behind me and watch. And I went down the street and people were smiling and is this real or nothing? And at one point, my son came over and do like that. He said, oh, you are cheating, Mom. I said, maybe I'm cheating, but I get people to smile at me. So it's very small thing that you need to do to get a result and make yourself more happy and have a greater life.
Yeah, and one of the I think in one of the bullets, thank you. One of the bullets I talk about is just smile.
Mm.
Put a smile on your face for 30 seconds. See how that changes you. Pay
Yeah.
attention. It will. You will feel
Yeah.
a difference in your heart. You will feel a difference in your body.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah,
You're welcome.
I do the same thing. I remember I was walking down the street with my ex-husband one time, and he was like surprised, like you smile. You smile all the time as you're walking down the street. I don't walk around like, I walk down the street, I look around, I'm living, I'm life, yeah, look, I'm smiling. Yeah, that's just natural
Yeah.
for me. But I see people walk around like that a lot, right? They're just, I mean, that just making that face makes a difference in how you feel inwardly. It's incredible. It's so small. And I'll tell you one thing that is important. Look, watching your thoughts is so important. We're very conditioned to label ourselves all the time. I put labels on things all the time. When we do that, we identify with that all the time. Okay. So one time I was talking to somebody, and she was a coach, and she was aware more. And I said, my anxiety. And after we talked for a little bit, she goes, can I suggest something? I said, yeah, yeah. She said, you said my anxiety. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want to say that. The anxiety I feel sometimes, or sometimes I'm challenged with anxiety. I don't want to say my anxiety because I'm attaching myself, I'm identifying that. If I constantly tell myself I have bad bones, or I have anxiety, my anxiety, or I'm a smoker, you're not going to be able to change those things if you identify with that. If you say I'm a smoker, you're never going to quit smoking. You got to stop saying I'm this way. And that's how powerful your thoughts are. And we're getting educated on that, but for so many years we never knew that. We sabotage ourselves all the time with our thoughts.
Good. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, ladies, for joining
Yeah.
us this afternoon.
Can I say something real quick
Yes.
before we leave? So for anybody, if you know anybody in the States particularly, I don't know what's happening in other countries, that would be interested in talking to me about the corporate wellness program that I offer to people. That it's a 6-week program. They're immersed in having experiences in the sessions. Then they get homework for a whole, throughout the week they do at home, and they have experiences, and they come back and we build on that. It's really, it's not just I'm telling you about information. You're having experiences like the 30-day challenge. I get them into that. Big providers, insurance providers, several real big ones in the United States, United Healthcare, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Cigna, Aetna, they are paying for wellness services for their business clients. So a lot of times this is like the business doesn't even have to pay the money or pay a small percentage. Or sometimes I've had clients tell me that I do a private session at their home with breath work or whatever they need, and they have an allotted budget from their company that helps them pay for this. It doesn't have to come out of their pocket. So, it's starting, and this is going to get bigger, and I imagine over the years it will roll over to other countries as well, but this is what's happening in the US. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there for you guys.
Brilliant. Thank you. Ali Meta replied in the chat. I don't know if you saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were interested in a WhatsApp group? Is that what you're?
Yes, I
No.
saw it. I'm going to join with Meta as my buddy to do this.
So
Oh,
those two
good.
ladies are paired up.
Okay, good. You paired up. Okay,
Yeah.
great, great. I'm happy. So if any of you guys, want to pair up with each other or find someone in your life and show them this and talk about it, and I'm telling you, you'll have fun. It'll build a bond with you. I did this workshop where people didn't even know each other, and they paired up, and they became friends, and they had this really profound bond now because they did this really cool experience that was having them go inward all the time.
Brilliant. Thank you, ladies. Have a good rest of your afternoon.
Thanks
Thank
for coming.
you.
Feel free to contact me anytime.
Good to see
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you, Ellie.
Bye.